So, and it just gets worse from there. So let's throw another 20 million. That's 600,000. 200 million. That's 4 million. You don't get this money back. So if I got to take it down, well, it's going to automatically come off the board after like 3 days. So you want to make sure that you're pricing stuff right, not overcharging. Check the market, and just because something's on the board for a certain price doesn't mean that's its going rate. So let's look at Mosin-Nagants here. So we're at threaded barrels. So this Mosin-Nagant is 79,000, which is, if we look at the board, we can see 84, 84, 85, 85, 85, 85. So we can say that 85, I would say 80 to 85 is a fair value, fair market value for Mosin-Nagant in good condition. And then we can see all the way down here to 90s and up to 100,000. There's, yeah, no, it's just like you're wasting your money. All the way up to 130. I don't know what this guy's thinking, but you're just wasting your money. SKS 150, not bad. 155, 180s. It's like, yeah, prices do fluctuate, but you want to keep an eye on it. So 74Us, 400,000 is the average going rate for a 74U, and what we can see here by looking at these now, adding it magazines and attachments will increase your value, but it's whatever that attachment's value is. So with a mag, with a muzzle boost, 450, okay, fine. This guy right here, he's trying to do 800,000 for cherry mag. It's not worth that. Cherry mags, they're only going for like 80,000 or less. It's like 75 to 80,000 right now. So you got a $400,000 gun, well, 400,000 rubles. You get what I mean. Plus this this muzzle device, which is, I believe, only like 30 to 50,000. Plus, an 80,000. Just math doesn't add up. It's just you just wasted money. You can see there's 16 hours remaining, so he's just about to lose whatever commission he put on this thing. Now you might be wondering why we got these here. SKS is down here at 150, which is a fair price for an SKS. But then here we jump up to this SKS, which is for 2.3 mil. Like, okay, wait a minute, it's still 100. So this suppressor is worth a lot of money. So 2.3, that's a little high. I would not pay that. But this suppressor is like $1.5 million, I believe. Last I bought one, I paid $1.5 million for it. Last I got one, I forget what I sold it for, but so a little overpriced. But again, if you really want something, you can pay a little bit more for it. But don't pay too much. Don't encourage people. And I'm kind of jumping all over the place here. Back to these 74Us. So like I said, 400,000 is the going rate for these. But then, if 400,000 is the going rate, why do we got these 74Us down here at 355? Because capitalism. So these guys, they want money, and they want money now. So even though 400,000 is the going rate, and it's a fair market value for 74U, this guy here, he wants money faster. So he's undercutting the people selling them for 400,000, doing it 380, right? So that's what these guys did. They're just undercutting and trying to get it for less. And this can start, good for the buyer, bad for sellers. It can start a run on prices, where this one's 365 and now we got 355, because these guys have undercut the 400,000 mark, and this guy's undercutting them, and now this guy here is even more desperate, so he's undercutting that guy. And so you can see prices dramatically change in a day by just players undercutting each other on. You'll see it a lot on magazines, mod tickets, things like that. So you have to. You might see a gun going for what seems like an absurd amount of money, like SIG 550s. A year ago, a SIG 550 was a $200 million gun. Now I've seen them going for as low as 50,000. And you might see a guy come along and he'll put a SIG 550 on the board for 200 mil because that's what it was worth a year ago. They're not worth that anymore. They're only worth like 50. But he doesn't know that because maybe he took a break from the game. He wasn't here in the Christmas update when people got dozens of SIG 550s and flooded the market with them. Now they're, you know, worthless. So he just wasted money on commission because no one's going to buy it. So if you're playing the stock market in this game, it's really, you really want to stay up to date on prices and what things are going for. And prices can change. Like right now, we're looking at a 109 for 80 mil, which is its average going rate for a naked 109. I've seen them a little bit less. I've seen them fluctuate a little bit higher, but it's been pretty stable around 80 mil. A 74M for 40. That's a little high. He does got all the good attachments. Black polymer mag. He's got the 34 butt pad. He's got the good PvP suppressor, the grenade launcher, and a Cobra sight. So he's got all the good stuff, and this is what we call full. So if you see a gun like this on the board, this is an AK-109 naked, and then you'll see AK-74M, and this is what Speak in the game we'll call full. And a full gun is with all the attachments for that gun. So Cobra, grenade launcher, suppressor, mag, butt pad. And the values, so this is not full. If we look at this gun here, we can actually hit this little plus sign and it'll bring up so we can see it. The exact weapon that this guy's got for sale. And you can see it's a older style M16, and there's no muzzle brake on this gun, so this would not be a full weapon without that muzzle brakes. Some kind of muzzle device would make it full. So either a Colt flash hider or a suppressor or one of the 69D kits would make it a full weapon. But if it doesn't have everything, or at least some variant of everything, it's not full. FNC. What people will do is kind of, you know, buy low, sell high. That's another way to make money on the market. So let's say guy's desperate for money. So average going rate on 109s is around 80. Let's say a guy's desperate. You might see someone that's trying to work a deal, or they're trying to they just need money fast, so he's willing to sell his 109 for 70 KK. That's a really good deal. So if you got money, you can buy the 109 off of him for 70, put it on the board, or find a buyer if you have patience, kind of like you know, pawn shop or something. You got money, you buy it off of him because he needs money now, and then it's going to take you a little bit of time to sell something. But when you do sell it, you'll make your money back plus a little profit off of it. And I know guys that literally sit and they watch the board, and that's all they do all day long is just buy low, sell high. They'll keep refreshing these different pages. So if I go over here to grenade launchers, we can see the going rate on these used to be 7. 8 months ago it was 6 mil, went up to 7, now it's coming back down closer to 6. So if somebody posts you know, GP25 on the board for 5 mil, buy it, and then immediately put it back on the board for 6. You'll make your money back and a little bit of profit. So just playing the stock market by buying and selling on the board is a really great way to make money fast. Like this is a good example right here, the M249. They used to be around 55, and this guy here is selling one for 38. So prices can change dramatically. You just have to really stay on top of it. Just because something's rare doesn't mean it's valuable. You have to it takes a little bit of time, you know, to get to know the ins and outs of everything on the board and the different prices. There's a Stay Out Discord that you can jump into. If you have personal credits for vendors, here's something. So like 80,000 for a set of binoculars, right? Might not seem like a lot, but there are some vendors where you can pick these up for pretty cheap. As you do your daily quests, you'll build up credits for a vendor, and let's say the vendor doesn't have anything you need. You already have a set of binoculars, you already have an MGD. The vendor has nothing you're interested in, but you can buy items like this off the vendor using your personal credits and then turn around and put them on the board for a little bit more than what you purchased them from the vendor for. So you end up getting your money back plus a little bit more using your personal credits because you got it at a discount. And you know, people will buy it because new players come in. Let's say a new player doesn't have the personal credits and he doesn't want to spend 3 days doing a mission for a repair guy to get his personal credits to buy these binoculars. If he's got the cash, you can just go on the board and get them instead of building up those personal credits. Yeah, so I mean, we can see here undercutting going on. PSO1's mil. That's the usual going rate, and this guy here, he's just trying to undercut these guys and make a little bit of quick money. I think the biggest one you can see this in is like mod tickets. Let me go over here. Pull up mod tickets. Yeah, so mod tickets prices fluctuate hard. So 320, 345, 349 per mod ticket. So you can see that the way it is shown on these boards is by on this end is the cheapest per item. So as we scroll through the list, you'll see there's different amounts, there's different locations, but the board is done by cheapest per unit. So up here, this guy is selling 2 mod tickets for 800,000 a mod ticket. I don't know what he's smoking, but it's got to be some good shit, because 800,000 for a mod ticket is crazy. 500,000, 440, 400,000 is where the price was. So they raised the prices on them. They used to be 80 cent, now they're 70. Well, they used to be 70 cent, now they're 80 cent. So 400,000 is kind of an okay price, but a lot of people desperate for money sell mod tickets where they're trying to get in-game money, so they sell these mod tickets. 400,000 is a fair value, but as we see, there's a lot of undercutting going on here. Now, if you buy something off the board, so let's go over here. This is something that a lot of people do and don't even realize it. Let's go to threaded barrels. Oh, after I gotta erase mod here. So this will kind of like roll into the next part. Let's go down to, let's find something. What do we got? Wow, somebody bought all the cheap guns off the board. I guess I'm not going to do that. I'll do something else because I'm not overpaying for a gun. I was going to. But let's say I want to buy this gun right here. Look at it so I can see details. Go to information so we can look at it. So he didn't even clean this gun, but it's whatever. So it's not that big of a deal. So if I want to look at the gun a little bit more closely, I can hit this little plus sign up here. So this is the actual gun this guy is selling. We can bring it up, zoom in, zoom out. So he is selling a completely naked gun, no magazine, no muzzle device, no optic, for a dumb price. Actually, what am I saying? Oh, I'm sorry. That's actually a good price. Let me just buy that real quick. I don't know why. For some reason, I was thinking it was 48, not 38. But so yeah, under $4 mil for that gun is not a bad price. 42, that's a little bit high. So he's like 200,000 over. If it was 4, I buy it. 42, if I am a player and I need a gun, 42 is not terrible. 43, no attachments. He's got a muzzle brake, but I wouldn't run it with a muzzle brake. I put a suppressor on it, so it's kind of like, eh. But 42 is not terrible if you're a player looking to buy it. I'm not looking to use this weapon. I'm looking to use it for trade points. So that was a good gun. I had a dirt moment. So I just purchased that rifle. So let's go over here to my warehouse. And when I purchased it, just kind of you can the location was Sergey the Smuggler, but I am not at Sergey the Smuggler. I am at Hunter Stockman. So how can I get that weapon? Well, I could physically run back there and get it, or I can go change my selected tab to Sergey the Smuggler. Here's the rifle that I just purchased, and I want to get it here to me, to Hunter Stockman. I'll go down here to Postages. You can see I have a postage for, I sent some med kits to go to create postage, and I already have it as Hunter Stockman. And then who I want to send it to? Well, to me, of course. I'm going to drag this rifle, throw it in here, and I can send money. So if you want to send money, send stuff to other players, you can do that through this postage option. It's going to charge you money, and if you have premium, you get charged less money. I do recommend premium. It's definitely worth it if you got the. It's $8 a month, $6 if you buy the kits. So you can, even if you're on a budget, this game is free to play, but you know, so this is kind of how they pay for everything. So I'm going to send it to me, to Hunter Stockman. Here's the rifle I just purchased. I'm going to hit send. It's going to give me some different options here. So the base price would take 20 hours to ship this from there to here, and the total cost would be $13,000. It's going to charge you a increased cost for content. So let me cancel it. I mean, like throw my SVD in here, some ammunition, some 74 mags, right? And now let's hit send. You can see that price went up because the contents now cost more. So it's going to charge me a flat rate for the delivery fee for different and it'll change by locations. So each location's got a different delivery fee, and then there's a content charge, and nickel and dime you for everything on here, almost as bad as Apple. So let's do that. We're going to send it. Premium, 15-minute wait time, and because I have my premium account, it's going to be basically the same as the Express. Confirm. It's sent. Sent to me, and then we'll see over here on the way, Hunter Stockman, 15 minutes. Once I get that rifle, I'm going to go sell it to a retired colonel. Weapon modification. Let's do that since we're here. So over here, right click on your gun, hit modification. It'll bring up this screen. You can twirl your gun around, get a good look at it. This is how you change out different attachments. So I can take my Cobra sight off, butt pad, magazine, grenade launcher, and suppressor, right? Hit apply changes. It just stripped that gun down naked. Come over here to my 107. So if I want to take my scope off and I want to throw my Cobra sight for my 109 on here, I can do that, because they have the same dovetail mounting system. So that's how you modify everything. Each one of these guns kind of has its own system. The M16s, you can move your flashlights up and down. You can do some crazy stuff to the M16s. You can have I think like up to 8 flashlights on them, depending on how you stack them. I think, as I've talked about before, the game's fractional reloading. You have to manually load each one of your magazines. There's no speed loaders or stripper clips as much as I wish there would be. Different injectors, let's talk about those. So medical stuff, there's a lot of different medical things. You have paramedic kits, car med kits, medium med kits, and super med kits. They all have different drop chances and usages. So if we look at the paramedic here, I can go down here to info. It's going to tell me that chance to drop is 3%. So if I was to die, I got a 3% chance of losing this med kit. It will heal me 150. Now I have a couple super med kits that I don't use these things regularly. They usually go for about 200,000 on the board, and these are my emergency med kits if some real bad stuff happens. Restores 300 points, but the big deal about these super med kits is item, where is it at? It is impossible to drop this item when character dies. Right there. That is the reason why I call them my, like, oh shit, emergency med kits. Because it's going to happen to you. There's going to be days where you're trugging through the zone and nothing's going right. You keep dying to Verlocks and you're getting hit by everything left, right, and center. And this man here leaving a trail of blood. You'll end up running out of med kits. It's happened to a lot of friends of mine. You know, you don't expect to go out and get into anything serious, but one thing leads to another, and you end up dropping all of your anti-rad, all of your paramedic kits, or car meds, whatever you have, and you're just in a really bad spot. So carrying multiple of each is best. You know, I got 3 paramedic. If I was going to do a PvP fight, I would bring extra super meds and extra of everything. Depending on where I'm going, I'll have, if I'm going on a really long run, 5 to 6 anti-rads. The antidotes, I usually only bring 2 because it's kind of rare I get poisoned. It's not something I really worry about too much. Going on to the zone, there is, let me put these things away because I don't really need them. Bro strats, I think I talked about that in the before video, where it gives you a stamina boost. And then your nerve stem, I usually carry one. I almost never use it. It's good for not getting affected by fast fiends and grizzly bears when they stand up and roar. You don't get stunned. PvP, they're huge because grenade explosions don't stun you as bad. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. Let's just call it the purple injector. Increases your sturdiness, bulletproof resistance. The orange injector is for removing freezing stacks, and so you can navigate the cold biome without heavy jackets and things like that. The red injector here is going to be usually used in combination with psychomotrin. The psychomotrin is really nice because it'll pick you back up after you die. Normally, if I was to run out and get killed by a mob, you're going to get that screen pops up and it says return to safe zone, or you could just wait there and hopefully someone comes along and picks you up or something like that. But if you inject yourself with psychomotrin, they have different dosages of this and they last for different amounts of time. So this is a 5 milliliter. I think it gives me 5 uses, and I think I'd only heal you for 30. Takes 10 minutes. Okay, yeah, so 10 minutes of use is what you get out of each shot. So I inject myself with this stuff and I can run around, and if I die within that 10 minutes, where it says next to safe zone, return to safe zone, the other one will say that after 30 seconds you'll just automatically stand back up. Now when you stand back up, you'll get a I forget what they're called now, but they used to be called bloodletting stacks. So you'll get this little blood symbol that'll show up on your buff bar, and it'll basically prevent your health from going past 25%. and every time you die and you stand back up, that will reduce. So the first time you die and stand back up, you'll be reduced to 25%, and then when you die and stand back up, it'll be 25% of that 25%, and it just kind of goes downhill from there to where the smallest thing, you basically have no health. To remove those debuffs, you either have to get back here to one of these safe zones and wait for the timer for it to go away. If you happen to have firewood with you and some matches, you can make a campfire, and you can just a regular old craftable campfire. You can place it down. That'll remove the stacks. Or if you're in a hurry, you can get one of these red injectors, and injecting yourself with this stuff will remove those stacks immediately. So if I'm where you really want to use this is long runs. So if we're, this is a respawn point here in Radius. This guy down here, I think he's a respawn point, but I'm not 100% certain. So if I leave Radius and I'm planning on farming here or doing something down south, if I go over here to Caravan, like I said, Caravan's a massive map, and there's only 2 respawn points. So if I'm farming sages here in the center of the map and I die, I don't want to make this long run again. It's a really long run. It's time consuming. That travel time is going to cut down on my farm time. So if I'm out here farming sages, I'll be using Psychomotrin. So if I die, I'll stand back up. I can heal myself or place down a campfire to get rid of those blood stacks and get back up to 100% health. And I can operate in this area, indefinitely, as long as I have enough supplies, as long as no one kills you. So if someone comes up while you're incapacitated waiting for the Psychomotrin to pick you back up, and they use the kill and search option on you, it will send you back to a safe zone regardless if you're using Psychomotrin or not. So in a PvP situation, let's say hypothetically we were going to launch an attack on Tunguska base from Radius. It's a long run, so we don't want to have to keep running from Radius to Tunguska to try to take this place. We would use Psychomotrin to pick us back up. So if we're killed in action, we'll wait for the Psychomotrin to kick back in, stand back up, and then continue. So what's common for the defenders to do is if they kill you, they'll wait about 20 seconds since it's a 30-second timer, and then they'll come up and they'll kill and search you to force you to go back and commit the run again. And that's something to kind of remember in a PvP situation. You don't want to kill and search them immediately, because then they can immediately begin traveling back, and holding these bases takes about an hour or so. If you got time, you want to wait 30 seconds and then send them back to kind of just delay them as much as they can, because as long as they're dead, they're not attacking you, right? Let's see. I'm trying to... I've gone through pretty much as I can. I'm trying to think of all the little things to get to know. Gadget slots, shield stacking, I guess we can go into that. A couple other things about artifacts. So artifacts, if you're going out artifact farming, you don't need a container, but I would advise, if you can get a container, to get one. If you're looking to buy artifacts, the place to buy them would be here at artifact containers. Now if we go down here to artifacts, you will see artifacts on the board, but the problem is only noobs sell artifacts on the board in the artifact area, because artifacts deplete their charge over time. So this guy here is not depleted yet, it still has a charge left. But generally when you place artifacts, putting it into and then selling it, so this artifact right here, this guy's trying to get 400,000 for an artifact A, and it's only got 9 hours of charge left, which is kind of insane. So if an artifact is not in a container with solution, it is dying. So if you post an artifact on the board and you're trying to sell it like this, dumb. It's just dying. There's I don't know if you can use depleted artifacts for anything. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can't, but I don't know why people do it. If you're looking to buy artifacts or sell artifacts, never sell them like this. The way to sell artifacts on the board properly is to sell them in the container section. So if we go here to artifact containers, you'll see empty containers, and these are basically just reused by everyone. You'll buy a single artifact empty container if you're planning to sell a single artifact, or you can buy the bigger containers and use those. So this guy is selling for $250. So that is the price of the container plus the artifact. So when you get this, if you want this artifact, you'll take the artifact out, and then you'll put this container back on the board and sell it for what small containers go for. And that's basically what everybody does if you're trying to sell artifacts. I don't know why this guy's selling a Mirage. Maybe there's a quest that requires it. It's usually what a lot of these are for. If you're serious into artifacts, like the meteorite pieces here, buying different pieces of the meteorite and then assembling all the pieces together to craft a 6B13 is the thing people do. So you'll see those. Let's see if we can get into the bigger kits here. Pillows. So I guess maybe I should go into artifacts too. Stabilizers. I mean, you can just read the description. They'll give you each artifact does different things. Almost all artifacts give you radiation or irradiate you. Some of them do absorb radiation, like rubber artifacts. See if I can find some on the board. Yeah, so here we have some rubber artifacts. So each level you have an A, B, what is it? Alphas, Bravos, Omegas. I don't know why I'm doing A, B. I'm having a brain fart moment. Sorry. A's are the lowest levels. B is the second. Y's are the third, and then you have O's and E's, Omegas. Let's see here if this guy's got a set. Yeah, so Shield O, Shield E, Shield Y, Shield B. Ah, he's got a full set. Okay. So how much is this? 32. That's actually not a bad deal right there. Let me see. 18. Man, these used to be 5. So he's got a B, 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 B. It's stupid. I don't know why he's selling all B's. But I don't know. B, 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 B. Yeah, no, that's a waste of time right there. Man, this guy's got a lot of B's. Okay. It's all from the same guy. Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe there's a quest they're using them for that I don't know about. But so this is a PvP container right here. So if you look into PvP, you would buy a container like this. So this is a 5-pack, right? And he's got a full set here. And if you're doing PvP on the board or arena PvP, you can get 10. But if you're doing like, yeah, 5 is really the most. But so you have an O, an E, a Y, a B, and an A. And they each do, A is the low level all the way up to E is the high level, right? And I mean, I can just pull these up. So look at how much you get with an A versus, let's go over here to E. Oh, I'm trying to extract it. Okay. So you can see the difference between the sturdiness increase. This one's a 6. This one's a 3, right? You know, level 3, level 1. Oh, this is a Y. Okay, sorry about that, but yeah, so yeah, here it is. Okay. Yeah, okay, level 5, 12. Now you can stack 2 of these together to get a higher buff. So if you're going to be in an arena, you can stack 5 and 5 to get the maximum amount of stacking possible. But stacking 2 of the same artifact will get you the highest that the protection will offer. Having 1,000 shields in your backpack does nothing. Once you go above 10, 2 of each, then that's the absolute max for stacking. And if you're gonna run artifacts in the field, like on your kit here, so we can go over here to equipment. You know, I got 6 slots available, so I could run 2 of each. So my preferred loadout would, if I was to run artifacts, would be 2 artifact E's, 2 artifact O's, and then 2 artifact Y's. And that would give me the highest level increase over doing A, B, Y, O, and E, because I'm only going to get a single perk from those artifacts. But if I do 2 E's, then I'm going to get the double stack buff, which is going to be higher. And then if I did 4 E's, you're only going to get 2. So like if I do 2 E's and 2 E's, or just all E's, it's not going to make a difference past 2. So the maximum you can get is like 2 E's, and then anything beyond that is just pointless. It won't give you any buffs beyond that. You know, so it's 2 E's, 2 O's, 2 Y's, and you'll get the maximum shield stack possible. I know this is getting kind of like, not sure even how long I'm at now. I'm just let's see if my postage is ready. Yeah, it's been more than 15 minutes. Jeez. But let's grab this rifle here. Oh, look at you. Okay, so my cheap rifle that I got. Modify. That's naked. Let's go up here to retired colonel. We're gonna sell it. So if you see cheap guns on the board, I usually buy them. Come over to here. Show me what you got for sale. And he's got a lot of stuff for sale. 88,000. So I mean, I paid 3 point something mil for this gun. I'm only gonna get 88 from it, so I'm losing money on this deal. But I get 300 personal credits for selling this gun to this guy, and that's all I want at the end of the day is the personal credits. So I'm paying for personal credits with this vendor, because now I'm up to 12,000 personal credits. It's been a long time. It's been like a couple months of working for here, doing quests, and I'm trying to get a VSS off of them. So this is like a $200 million or 200 million ruble gun. If I was to buy it on the board, it's 35 million if I buy it from him. But if I buy it off the board, coming out with 200 million, it would take me a while. But you know, doing it this way, I'm doing quests for him anyway. It's expensive. It takes a while. Personal credit system's pretty stupid. Thank God to getting rid of it after the update. What is going on? I'm just not going to deal with this. Alright, so I've gone through artifacts, basic making money, farming mobs, selling parts, doing quests, different map areas, board prices, reputation, I guess while we're here. So I'm negative 4,000 with the whites, meaning if you're negative 1,000 or 999, something like that, the faction's going to start to shoot at you. So if I was to go to the village of the whites, they would just KOS me as soon as they get within sight. I think I'm still fine with the scientists. I think it should be the same for them too. Negative 1,000. I'm not 100% on that. Characteristics tab. I mean, I'm just trying to think of every little